Catherine McDowell-Baker here. I am coming to you guys elated, excited, all of the above. I wanted to come on and thank you all who have supported me through purchase. Those of you who have supported me through kind words of encouragement, thank you so much. I have published another book to Amazon. You can get it on Amazon.com. I'm going to talk about that in just a few moments, but I wanted to come on really quickly and say thank you so much for the support that you all have given me. I also wanted to encourage you to not only purchase the book or books, but to read them. It's not about just the purchase, it's about the information that's provided in the book. I didn't write the books just to be doing something. I wrote them because I honestly believe that there is something that God would like to say to you through me, through my experiences, through what I've been through. So I definitely wanted to come on really quickly and say thank you guys so much for that. Many of you may not know I have two books that I have published to Amazon. My first book was called Rear Detachment, The Mission of Marriage in the Military. I wrote this book. Each book has its own meaning, its own purpose, but I wrote this book from the standpoint of a wife of an active duty soldier who was active duty for about 24 years. And although you're not a single parent per se, a lot of the times you end up performing that position from a single-handedly, simply because that other individual, that active duty soldier, cannot be there. And so I wrote this book um, to speak about the different ways that I handled keeping our children on their schedules, and how I handled remaining dutiful and faithful, and how I handled his return whenever he was deployed or whatever the situation may have been. So this book is called Rear Detachment, The Mission of Marriage in the Military. And it's not just about military. There's something in it for everybody when it concerns marriage. Either way, whether it's active duty military, maybe you are married to a reservist who gets called up to active duty, whatever the situation. That book came about as a request actually from several different people across a plethora of individuals. Different people asked me, why don't I write a book? Why don't I write a book? And so I did. But that's not the end all, not the tell all. My husband and I do have a book coming out in the coming months. Maybe it may even extend to a year. We're not sure, that we're writing after being married for 39 years. So many people ask us how we do it. And we want to just give a little insight, a little bit of our history, dating since we were 17 years old, the times when we decided that we were going to call it quits. All of that is going to be in this book. What you'll learn about me as an author is I'm very raw. I'm very real. I don't try to hide anything. I tell you the way it is. I tell you how it happened. And so that was my first book. My second book is the book that's currently out now and for sale on Amazon. It's called Huckleberry Baby, The Skin I'm In. This is a book that was really therapeutic. For me, writing this book was very therapeutic for me. And any of my books are not very long books at all. You can read them in one sitting or maybe two at the most. I do that. Some of it is because I'm this type of person. I don't do fluff. I say what I have to say. And when I'm finished talking, I'm done. And that's how my books are written. I say what I have to say. When I'm finished talking, I'm done. I'm not looking at how many pages it is, how many. I believe I got the message across. I'm done. So my books are not like really thick books, but they're not books that were just written um, in 2 days or 3 days or whatever. These books have been written years, have been in the making for years. I have tablets and tablets um, of information that through the years I have written down. Honestly, my dad taught me, when thoughts and stuff come to your mind, always be ready with pen and paper to write it down, because you might forget it. It might not come back to you. Bishop Blue says it this way. Bishop Blue says, um, God does not have to repeat himself. He's not obligated to repeat himself. When the Spirit of the Lord speaks to us, we need to be ready. So whether it's I'm driving down the road, I do have pencil and paper that I can pull over if need be, but I also can speak into my phone and make it as a note. And I have notes in my phone. I have so many of these one subject notebooks. Okay, you guys, this is something I absolutely love. I know one subject, I don't care if it's wide ruled or college ruled. I used to wait until the school supplies went on sale, you guys, seriously. And they would drop these down. Now, I know they did it the one in Lumberton. I'm not sure about anywhere else, but they would drop these one subject notebooks down to 10 cents. Honey, I would go in there and mop up simply because I'm a person that loves to write. I'm just in my element when I am writing. I write better, a lot better than I speak publicly. I write better. I'm in my element when I write. And so I always get these one subject notebooks. Love them. I have so many of them that they take up so much space, but I don't care because that's what I like to do. And so through the years, I have so many of those tablets that are full of just a thought that will come to my mind. And I'm like, wow. And I write it down. Now with our cell phones the way they are, they have that little note section. I'll go in there and put it in that note. And when I begin to put the books together, I can go back and I pull all of that out and I fit it in where it goes in. And so, like I said, none of these books are very long books at all, but they give a message that is life lasting. It is a lifelong and valuable information. It really is. And so thank you to all of you who have gone on Amazon.com and purchased a copy of either Rear Detachment, The Mission of Marriage in the Military, or Huckleberry Baby, The Skin I'm In. Huckleberry Baby, I'm going to speak about that for a little while. As you see, I am a darker African American. I am a darker skinned African American. Um, Fourth, fifth, and sixth grades, I was literally bullied daily only because the hue in my skin, the hue of my skin really brought about bullying. And I dealt with that for years. And so when I became older and when I began to be able to notice the residue that had been left behind from those years of bullying, sometimes we will grow up on the outside. But then if you've been hurt at a younger age, that little person inside of you at that age is still hurting. They need to be healed. They need to be mended. And so as I got older and as I experienced different things in life and took a step back and looked at why did I do that? Why did I say that? Where did that come from? Type thing. I began to see that a lot of it was residue from those years. And so, like I said, through the years, I had been writing. My mom transitioned in 2016, but even prior to that, that's how long these books have been in the work. Prior to that, she and I were over at my Aunt Mary and Uncle Melvin's house. I remember it. I remember it. So, you guys, this was a while ago. But like I said, the information that will be found in this book had been written down for some years. And in our talking, and I don't even remember how we got on the conversation. If Uncle Shorty was anywhere in the picture, I'm sure if it had to do with the hue in your skin, he brought it up somewhere. That was the one person who could tease me about being dark skinned, that I didn't take it that personally because he was darker than me. That was all was our argument, who was the darkest. But I knew him and I knew he loved me. And I knew that wasn't coming from a negative place or a place to tear me down. So I could deal with it. So if Uncle Shorty was anywhere in the room, I'm sure we got on this conversation somewhere or another because of something he said. But at any rate, I remember my Aunt Mary, who I now, once I told her children, Taurus and Tasha, this, they said, yeah, Daddy always said that Mama was like an old refrigerator. She couldn't hold nothing. But in our conversation and in our laughing and talking, Aunt Mary said, yeah, and it used to bother me when Cora, who's my mom and her sister, when she said, Cora used to call you her Huckleberry Baby. She said, I didn't like that. So I looked at my mom. I was like, oh, so it started with you. And she just dropped her head and we all just laughed it off because I knew that it was coming from a place of endearment if it had come from my mom. But that is one reason why the name of this book starts off Huckleberry Baby. Because Huckleberry Baby, well, we're talking about the skin that I'm in. And this book is basically about those years that I dealt with the bullying. And the strange thing is, you guys, it wasn't only about little other African American children. Some African American adults were just as cruel. They were just as cruel. Some of them didn't care I was within earshot and can hear, but there were some who didn't know I heard what they said. My sissy and I, who's the closest in age to me, I have two sissies and a brother, but my knee baby sister and I are closest in age. We're only like 2.5 years apart. And she and I never even looked at each other's skin tone, not that I know of. And she definitely has never said anything like that to me. And so I remember the first time I heard somebody say, they were talking about something. My sister's name is Angie, and they said, and they were older. They were older than we were. I don't know if they were like in their early 20s or what, but I thought they were adults. Whatever age I was, I thought them to be adults. And they were talking, and someone said, "You're talking about Angie?" And the lady said, "No, I'm talking about the little dark one." At that point, that's the first time I remember getting an inkling that there was something negative associated with my skin tone, because my sissy had never said anything like that to me. And I overheard some, and so that was the first little seed that was planted. And so in this book, I talk about, um, like I said, growing up externally, but internally, still in need of a healing from that. And each section has a reflection. So when I talk about it, don't just look at the trauma part of it, that stuff that caused trauma in my life. Look at the reflection and see that what the enemy meant for evil, God has made it work to my good. Look at that part. Please don't do like my husband, who read the book and just started reading the book and looked at me and said, "Baby, I want to fight these people in this book." And I said, "Baby, read the reflections. Please read the reflections," because he wanted to fight people. Baby, you don't know who those people were. I ain't called nobody name, so you can't go back and fight nobody. But uh, there was a part of him that wanted to protect that little girl in that book who was being hurt and who was being traumatized. So I can appreciate that from him. But baby, no, you don't have to fight anybody. So each section is completed with a reflection. There's just a little reflection here that you can go in and read and see that although Satan might have meant it for evil, how God brought me through and made it for my good. So that is a book. What I want to talk about with you all today, one thing is I want to say this. You guys will see several books that I've published or that I'm in the process of publishing. Let me help you understand that. None of these were written overnight or in 2 weeks or in 2 months. These books have been in the works for years. That's why I was telling you I have tablets and tablets and tablets of my thoughts. And so I go through when I'm feeling like I've been feeling recently. I felt it was time to put it all together. And so you may see books come out, but it doesn't mean, well, she's just sitting there just writing books. No, this has been over some years. So my next book, it has already published to Kindle, which is an ebook on Amazon. Okay, it's already published there. But the the paperback hasn't published yet. I'm in the process of getting that together so that can be published. But I do have my author's copy of this book that is due to come out within the next several, I don't want to say days, y'all. I'm trying. I don't know. But the name of this book is called Parenting Our Parents. And there's sort of a glare on that. I hope you can see it. It's called Parenting Our Parents. I don't know if you can, there you go. I think you might be able to see a little bit better there. But anyway, it's Parenting Our Parents. And this book is a companion for the caregiver's journey. Now, this is what's going on with this book. As many of you know, I was blessed to be able to provide care for my parents as they aged and as they began to transition. I was able to provide care for them. And this book is written from that aspect. But not only that, each section has a devotional thought. It has a prayer for each section, because I want this book to be a companion for somebody who may be in the position where they're having to care for their parents at a later time or later stage. It might be an accident or an injury or something, and you're having to care for a parent or a loved one. That's the position from which this book is written. I wrote it from the daughter now parenting the parents that parented her. So you will see some of our journey in this book. You will read some of our journey in this book. You will read a devotional thought. There's even a set of reflection questions to basically, if you're currently in that position now, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? How do you think you can better do this or better do that? And so that's why this book is written as a companion. It is a companion. It's my story, what I went through, but in it you will also find um, little bits and pieces, little things, little nuggets, I should say, that should be able to bless you if you ever find yourself in that situation. Or maybe it's something you want to purchase for someone you know who's going through that situation, or you want to gift it to your children, that if they ever have to go that situation with you, then they will have that. When I wrote the book, I always get an author's copy. because although I'm the one that wrote the book and I still have all of my notes and all that, I want to see the book how you will see it before you get it. And so I love to get the author's copy. And so as I read my author's copy, I was going, wow, I wish I would have had this book when I was caring for my parents. I really did. So that's how I knew that there was something in it for everybody and it can be a blessing to you. Because after I wrote it, I wished that I had had it before I wrote it. Does that make sense? And there may be another one out there. I don't know. But this is just my story. The other thing that I want to say to you really quickly is this. Please don't just purchase the book because it's me. Don't just purchase the book because it's me. Thank you so much for your support. Trust me, I appreciate it. But don't purchase the book with the thought that, okay, that's Catherine. I'm just going to do it because she did it. She's my friend. I like her. Whatever your situation, your reason it may be. Purchase the book to read. What I'm finding out is there are so many people who have just stopped reading. I think that is tragic. I really do. There's nothing wrong with listening, but it needs to be a companion to a book. It needs to be that I'm listening, but I'm reading it at the same time. Then my mind is getting it twice. It's getting it through what I hear and it's getting it through what I see. I hope that makes sense to somebody. So don't buy this, either of these books, whether it's Parenting Your Parents, whether it's Huckleberry Baby, whether it's Rear Detachment. And I'm really hoping that you will purchase Huckleberry Baby for your children, for somebody else's children, not just people who've been through, but people who may have put other people through because they were bullies. There's something for them in this book as well, and it's not a negative. So don't just purchase it because um, I just want to purchase it because it's hers and I want to purchase. Please don't do that. I appreciate the thought, but don't do that. Honestly, these books were written from a place of a desire to help, to allow what I've been through to be a blessing to somebody else. So if you purchase it, please purchase it to read it. Read it, go back to Amazon, write a review, send me a message behind the scenes, whatever you have to do, because as the person who is the author, it means so much for someone to let you know I like the book. I purchased the book. Or what happened after this? Or how did you get through that? You guys don't know what that does for me. It really, really, really blesses me. And not only that, it gets my wheels to turning again for the next book that may be coming up, the next blog post that may be coming up. Look out for those as well, because I have an online coaching business that's called Renewing Your Mind Life Coaching, because I believe that's what this is all about. Let's renew our mind about some things. And that's the position that my books are written from. Whatever you may think, these books will help you renew your mind concerning whatever that situation is. That's how I like to do it. And so I'm praying that you will continue to purchase. Many of you have purchased. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love it. And if you know someone who has written a book, do like I do. Support them through purchase and read it as well. I have several people that have written books that I've purchased their books. Myself and my dad, we have quite a few books. He had purchased Bishop Blue books and I had purchased them too. But one is Bishop Michael Anthony Blue. He wrote a book called Building Credibility in Leadership. It is a book of principles for secondary leaders. Building credibility in leadership. You guys know just as I do, it is not an easy thing now to find credible leaders. That does not open the door for us to gossip and talk about anything that anybody is going through. That's not my point. My point is, he teaches how to be a credible leader. I appreciate that. And I see it in his life and Pastor Melinda's life. But this is that book called Building Credibility in Leadership, Principles for Secondary Leaders. That is Bishop Michael A. Blue. You guys purchase that book. Not only purchase it and read it, because it's not just about leadership in the church, leadership in your home, leadership on your job. When you are in a position of leadership, you need to be a credible leader. Everybody's not going to appreciate that. Trust me. Been there, done that. Everybody does not appreciate credibility. But that does not mean that I'm going to stop being credible, because that's who I am and that's who I must be in Christ. There's another book that I have here. This sister is a sister in Christ named DeAngela Haynes. She actually attends the Door of Hope Church down in Marion, South Carolina, while Bishop Blue is the pastor. It's called Encourage Yourself in the Lord. This lady is known to be a person who encourages from a very real and a very honest place. You guys, I think there's a glare on these books. My apologies for that. A very real and honest place. But her name is Sister D'Angela Haynes, and this is her book called Encourage Yourself in the Lord. Look for that one as well. You may be able to find her on Facebook. Um, Another book from a woman of God, Minister Rachel Ford Stevens, A Strategic Creator. This book is Scientific Concepts and the Bible. This is an amazing book as well. This is Sister Rachel Ford Stevens. Many of you know her, and she has a book out as well. There's Sister Rachel there on the back, but you all make sure you purchase that book as well. Um, and I love her book because I love the color. Okay, you guys, I know I'm good and grown, but I love to color. And her book actually has things that you can, little pages that you can color in it. I love it. I love it. So please get that book as well. There's another book by a woman of God named Lenora Dawson Lassiter. She actually has a podcast now. And this is a book, but it's also a journal. It's a journal of prompts called Sister Pour Into Me. Okay, and her name is Lenora Lassiter. You can find her on Facebook as well. And like I said, this book has journaling prompts. It's a journal, but it has prompts. And I love that. I really do. So make sure you take a look into that one as well. Then I have here a cousin-in-law who has now transitioned to life eternal. Her name is Angela Colvin Rogers. Angela battled sickness in her body for years and years and years. But before she transitioned, she wrote a book called Keep Fighting. Worth it. It's worth it, you guys. If you want this book, please let me know. And I will get you in contact with who you can get in contact with since Angela has transitioned, where you can get this book from. But she was married to my cousin Ed Rogers, my cousin Barbara Jean, and her husband James. That's their child. Their son, I shouldn't say because he's not a child anymore, but their son Ed, that was Ed's wife, Angela. She wrote a book as well. Last but definitely not least, my sister, my ace boon coon, Minister Yvette Hayes. Yvette wrote a book called You Don't Have to Marry the Wrong Man. Yes, this is Yvette. And you see the expression on her face, honey? That's her. Yvette has an amazing ministry that for singles, if you would just listen to her. If you would just listen to her. On YouTube, she is Living My Best Life. That's her handle on YouTube, and she has a plethora of videos. Yvette's been doing that for years, and she just has a heart for single women. And excuse me, she went through some things in her personal life that made her want to write a book so other people wouldn't have to go through what she went through, and how her eyes were open to some things as far as being a single woman, a single mother. And so, you guys, it is called You Don't Have to Marry the Wrong Man. And this is by Yvette Hayes. Please look her up. Please look her up here, either on Facebook or, like I said, YouTube. She is Living My Best Life. You all, I hope and pray that if you have not yet purchased either of these books, as I said, my books are on Amazon. You can check and see if the other titles are on Amazon as well. The one book, Parenting Our Parents, that paperback of this is forthcoming, you guys. It really is. It's forthcoming, but it is on Kindle currently at this time. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for every one of you who thought enough of me, thought that I might have something to say that the Lord wanted you to hear. Thank you so much. And please read and respond. Let me know if the book helped you in any way, if you handed it off to somebody else who it may help, whatever. I would like to know. That feedback is important to me as the author. God bless each of you. Thank you so much for listening. And you guys continue to have a blessed day. Bye bye.